Everyone deals with a spiritual attack. That's just plain and simple, regardless of whether or not you believe in a higher power or not. What it takes to actually be able to recognize when you're being attacked is a whole different story. As Christians, we're typically taught that those attacks will come regardless of how strong you are, but as we grow, I'd say we're supposed to, but many times we don't. We don't catch on, but many times I would like to say many times whenever we are growing, we do start catching on. For me, many times I catch on to it near the end, because sometimes it looks different for everyone, but I believe that there's like a rhythm to it, a repetition to the attacks. And I know Paul speaks about in his Gospels, in his books, that you can view his scripture in different ways, where it says that we deal with principalities and powers, no, not flesh and blood, but the principalities and powers in higher places. But if you look inside when it comes to that, and rather than the exterior of like the world, but if you actually look to the interior, you will see and you'll recognize that there's still a lot of like mental blockages and strongmen, like strongholds in our mind, and we are to be constantly going against that, trying to get rid of those, fighting against them and everything. And over a lifetime, as long as we are pursuing that healing, overcoming all those strongholds, eventually, we'll get to the point where we're having less and less. So, like I dealt with an attack the other night, and I didn't really realize what it was until, of course, later that day. But at the same time, I had another one like a week or so ago. We're going a whole different thing, and regardless of what is going on in your life, the attacks always happen just before the breakthrough. Always. I've found the repetition. I have found the pattern. Catching on to it is a whole different ball game, though. And catching the thoughts that are going through your head is, again, part of the process, part of the ball game of catching on to them. And it can be difficult. It can be very difficult, especially whenever you're not to the point of being able to recognize what's going on in your head. Whenever I was dealing with it the other day, I was recognizing the negative thoughts that was going on regarding the topic, regarding the attack, and I started kind of speaking the opposite, but started speaking the positive thing, started praying the positive over the thing. But it was still difficult until, again, it hit, oh yeah, this is a spiritual attack, which means the breakthrough is just within a couple days. And it's always how it is. The breakthrough is always within few days of that attack. Do not know why it happens like that. Maybe someone can put in the comments why. I haven't really meditated on it. I haven't really thought on it, but I know it happens because I can't tell you how many times I've seen in my own life, and I'm sure others who are watching this have seen the same thing in their life too. So, what is the anatomy? What is the anatomy of a spiritual attack? Regardless of what's going on, in previous videos, on TikTok at least, we can be on a mountain in one aspect of our life, and in the valley on a whole different thing. That happened with the attack the other night with me. Always, and I've noticed that, like, it's a weird dichotomy, but it happens. And each attack is always, I would want to say, an assumption of a negative of what's going on with that specific attack. Whether it's a job, whether it's a significant other, regardless of what it is, job, significant other, car, finances, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever the breakthrough is gonna come through, the spiritual attack is gonna hit on that specific topic. Period. Now let's say work-wise, you're hoping to get a new position. Right before the breakthrough, you're going to be hit with all these negative thoughts, all these negative assumptions. The best thing to do, and again, this is something I struggle with too, go into worship. Start speaking out the positive. Start speaking out that you trust the Father. Those kind of things. Whatever the negative thoughts are, speak out the opposite of it. Same with finances. Same with a significant other. Same with the move. Same with anything that the attack is on. That the thoughts are coming in. Speak the opposite of that. You can throw in worship music. Whatever helps to shift the atmosphere, to shift your thoughts. Because again, it always happens just before. It always happens just before the breakthrough. It's odd too, whenever the attacks happen, they always begin whenever you're expecting something and it doesn't play out, something doesn't happen according to how you think it is, or just straight up you wake up one morning and just you're berated by those negative thoughts. Again, the best thing you can do is start, go into your prayer closet, whatever. However you combat that stuff. Get into the Word, throw on worship music, or just start speaking out and start praying the opposite of whatever the attack is. That is basically the anatomy of a spiritual attack. And the more you grow, the easier it is to catch on to the attack and start combating it. And like I said, I deal with it too. There are times whenever I'm not, I recognize it, but it's like I'm not cognizant enough to say, oh crap, this is what this is, let me start combating it. Sometimes you catch on rather quickly. Other times it's like later on in it. I don't know if it's and it could be where you are, or it could be just where your head is at the time, and it could be a variety of things. But once you catch on, start speaking against him. But I hope this helps people. So reach out, leave comments, subscribe, like the video, do whatever. But I hope everyone has a good one.